Come on in and take your seats. And welcome to Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living. Tony, my goodness. Is Mark with you? Wow. Well, this is Tony DeStefano. He used to be on the Board of Trustees when I was at Huntington Beach Church of Religious Science. And he is one of our financial supporters from Southern California. And I am delighted to have him here with us. Tony and I have known each other forever, so I'm delighted that he's here. Welcome to those of you who are online this morning and everybody here. Come on in, take your seats. You are welcome to Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living, and I'm Reverend Mary Marie Shelton, our community spiritual leader here. I wish to welcome all of you and let you know that we are a community of diverse old people, pretty much, and we are really grateful to be here together to support one another and to know that there is only one, regardless of any difference in appearance, age, and so on. So this is a time in the morning service when we welcome one another. So now that you're all settled and seated and quiet, stand up, walk around, say good morning, introduce yourselves to people you don't know, welcome those back that you haven't seen in a while, come and meet Tony, and those of you at home, go ahead and give yourselves another hug, pour yourself a cup of coffee. Get ready for a wonderful morning. And in just a moment, we're going to come back and we'll all sing. So take a breath. Welcome. There we go. Good.
I just spent the weekend with Catherine Revoir.
Oh. Oh, good.
And Mark says hello.
Bless his heart.
I'm on my way to a seminar.
Oh, great.
Chris Collins and group. So
great.
Yeah.
Great. I'm glad you stopped to see us. All right. Come on back, folks. All right. Well, unfortunately, we don't have Karen Drucker with us in person, but we do have her on video this morning. She's actually facilitating a retreat with Gary Lynn Floyd today, someplace. But she did these videos for us, and we're delighted to have her, of course. I want to tell you some stuff about Karen that many of you may know, but you may not know all of these things. So Karen grew up in Laurel Canyon in the Hollywood Hills. And she says, yes, people actually are born in the Hollywood area. Karen was the babysitter for Carole King's children right through high school. And when the house was being remodeled, Carole actually moved her piano into Karen's bedroom. And that's how Karen taught herself to play the piano, where she started writing teenage angst songs. Karen also loved Carol Burnett, and she went to every one of the taping of her shows every Friday through junior high and high school. When she was 13 years old, she challenged Carol Burnett to a yodeling contest on the show. And Carol made it look like she won. That's what she said. As a young woman and a competitive swimmer, she swam the English Channel. She moved to San Francisco to sharpen her comedy, acting, and singing skills, and when no one hired her to sing in their clubs, she created her own TV show. She was 21. She came into New Thought here at Golden Gate when Melissa Felipe invited her to sing one Sunday. She had no idea what she was getting into, and Melissa said, just sing some happy songs and you'll be fine. And the rest is history, of course. She has shared her music freely with all kinds of professional presenters. When she wanted to get her music out there, she would send them songs just free, just send them songs that she thought would support their work and their message. And they were so impressed, like Joan Borisenko, a number of people began having her do the music at their retreats. So that's gone on for a long time. Karen has produced and sold 20 CDs of her own inspirational music and written a book based on her swimming experience and new thought called Let Go of the Shore, Songs and Stories to Set the Spirit Free. So she is also our former music director, of course, among all those other things. And Karen has been singing this summer at Cafe Arrivederci. During the offering, you're going to see what she's doing. Her last appearance there is in early August. So if you want to go, you should make reservations, but you'll see the date and everything. So let's stand and sing this song she wrote with Harold Payne. We know it well. You Are Welcome Here. Here we go.
Hey there, all my wonderful friends at GGCSL. It's Karen Drucker coming to you this morning. How are you?
Good.
I wish I could be with you there in person, but hopefully this is another way we could do it. So I think you know this song. We've done it before. I hope you'll sing with me. It's real easy. You just say, you are welcome here. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. Sing that with me now. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. All right, here's our verse. Our arms are wide open. There's room for everyone. Wherever you're going, wherever you're from, you know what? You are home. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. Feel free to look around. You are welcome here. Someone might need to hear this morning. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. And you are welcome here. Wherever you've been through, somehow you found us somehow. Love that. Wherever you are on your journey now, you know what? You are home. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. And you are welcome here. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. Now you are welcome here. All right, let me hear you really sing it now. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. Everybody's welcome. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. And you are welcome here. I am welcome here. I am welcome here. I am welcome here. Give it to yourself. Put your hand on your heart and say, I am welcome here. I am welcome here. I am welcome. All right, how about this? Do this. We are welcome here. We are welcome. Put your hands up. Hands everybody. We are welcome here. We are welcome here. We are welcome here. We are welcome here. Everybody, you are welcome. Everybody's welcome. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. And you are welcome here. I am welcome. I am welcome. I am welcome. I am. Look around the room and say, you are, we all are. Good job.
Thank you, Karen. You may be seated as we, hello. There we go. Go ahead and silence your cell phones now. We're going to prepare to turn within and become centered and ready for the morning now that we've sung and greeted each other. And I'm going to invite our morning prayer practitioner, Leslie Giannetti, up to become the opening, to do the opening for us.
As we turn within to our sacred center, I bring my full attention to the one infinite life, the magnificent all in all. This exalted power and presence is everywhere, pouring itself through every molecule and cell. keeping the planets in their orbit, bringing rain to the earth, bringing laughter to the voice. So I speak my word for each one, and I claim an opening in consciousness for the deep impress of the inspiration of the infinite life through spirit, soul, and body temple, that this one is always communicating. It is always seeking a greater self-expression through each one, reflecting itself out into the world, into experience. And in this holy moment of now, the infinite life is through this entire gathering for Sunday. It's through Reverend Mary's words. It's through our receptivity. And I recognize that only one life unites everyone in its light and love, always for the greater good. And allowing this life to express is allowing for the greatest experience of unity consciousness and oneness. And oneness is the divine birthright of each one. So I celebrate the life within each one which calls them forward to the greater good, and which harmonizes every cell within the body temple for perfect peace, for perfect love, for perfect right now. I release my word to the law of mind, which embraces my word as a new creation, ready to be celebrated in this moment, and so it is.
It's all about love and kindness today. My religion is kindness. My church is nature. My God is a feeling that lives deep inside. My job is to be conscious. My path is forgiveness. My religion is kindness. Go to practice it every day. Now everyone has a story. Everyone has pain. When we strip away our masks, we find that we're really all the same. It's those little things we say and do that can mean so much. It's a smile, a connection, a simple love and touch. My religion is kindness. My church is nature. My God is this feeling that lives deep inside. My job is to be conscious. My path is forgiveness. My religion is kindness. Go to practice it every day. Every day. Now, today I'm gonna ask myself, what more can I do? What can I do now? To be a radiant child of God and let my love shine through. I'll let my heart be my guide to give the best of me. Go to share my love, share my joy, give it boundlessly. My religion is kindness. My church is nature. My God is this feeling that lives deep inside. My job is to be conscious. My path is forgiveness. My religion is kindness. Go to practice it every day. All right, it's time to blow. It's not a Karen Drucker song unless I play it. Do a kazoo. Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Then Jack fell down and broke his crown. Jill came running after. She said, Jack, tell me, what can I do to help ease your mind? He said, hold my hand and just be kind. No, I'll be fine. My religion is kindness. My church is nature. My God is this feeling. Lives so deep inside. My job is to be conscious. Forgiveness. My religion is kindness. Go to practice it every day. Are you singing with me now? Sing with me. Religion is kindness. My church is nature. My God is a feeling that lives so deep inside. My job is to be conscious. My path is forgiveness. My religion is kindness. Go to practice it every day. Every day. My religion is kindness. Go to practice it every day. Will you join me? We need it these days. Oh, every day. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So, this is the year of a grand rising, which is a kind of a resurrection of the soul. Every day is new. Every day we're new. We don't feel new a lot of the time, but we are new. We don't know how much of us blinks on and off overnight that we might be bringing back something entirely different the next day, right? It's possible. Who knows? So, in this month of, what month is it? July. We're talking about the path of freedom, greater freedom. And today I'm asking, what is freedom of heart? You see these three founding fathers up here that set this country into motion, along with a bunch of other people. And last year, I think it was, I spoke about the range of ages of those that signed the Declaration of Independence from the 20s up into 70, I think, or thereabouts, which was older than that, I believe, and that was Benjamin Franklin. He was the oldest of those that were involved in that process. And I think he's the one that said, we must hang together or for sure we will hang separately. Because what they were doing was treason. Now that had a death penalty assigned to it. They had decided to do that in spite of the possible penalty in front of them. So practicing freedom of heart, it's about recognizing what is a risk worth taking. What is something that that is so important to us in our lives that we would risk everything or nearly everything, or we'd risk a lot for that person, for that principle, for that quality, whatever it is. Our government, we call it a democratic republic. Now, the definition of a republic, according to Merriam-Webster Dictionary, is a government in which supreme power resides in a body of citizens entitled to vote and is exercised by elected officers and representatives responsible to them and governing according to law. That's the overarching kind of definition, or one of the definitions of a republic, which is a lofty vision. And it opens up all kinds of risks, because guess who's involved in a republic? Human beings. Human beings. And what that means is that we are connected to the flow and the energy of everything around us. We're greatly influenced by those who are close to us or by those who speak with authority. And we have a tendency to take at face value certain things that are told to us by folks that we inherently trust, yeah? I don't go check every single thing anybody ever says to make sure that it's accurate, and I have miles of backup information. I don't know about too many people who do that, unless that's their job. So we have this huge vision, this huge possibility of love and freedom. And then we have humanity and all of the regular stuff that human beings do. I think about soap operas, that when you get attached to watching a soap opera, eventually you may notice that one of the things that keeps the soap opera going is that at any given moment, the character who's being focused upon will make the worst possible choice, whatever it is, of the range of choices, always the worst possible choice. If they need to listen, they'll fly off the handle and leave. If they need to speak, they won't say clearly what needs to be said. That develops the story. So we get all kinds of conflict and crisis and climaxes and so on. It gives us a place to go to resolve it and feel better by the end sometimes. But in life, the range is much more broad and gray. So we make choices that lean toward the better end of things or don't. And then theoretically, the results that come back from that teach us something that allow us to make a better choice or a different choice the next time. Maybe a different choice in the way we word something or the action that we take in response to something. A nursery school teacher was teaching her little kids Independence Day was coming. And she was teaching them about freedom and patriotism and being part of the United States. And she said, we live in a great country. And one reason we can be happy is that in this country, we're all free. And a little boy came up to her from the back of the room with his hands on his hips, and he said, I'm not free. And she was rather puzzled, and she said, you're not? He said, no, I'm for. Perhaps she will word it differently the next time she says it to her nursery school kids. And so the risk that we take for the freedom that we want is connected to possible losses or the possibility of loss, depending on what people want and what they stand for and make themselves visible for. They can lose their home, they can lose their livelihood or their family or the love of their life. They can lose their work, they can lose respect, they can lose their status in the world. And we know people who have had those experiences. They've become very famous, some of them, for crashing and burning or from pursuing and outlasting, whatever it was. There are so many films that deal with somebody who took a risk, reporters who were determined to tell a particular story or to make certain information available, who risked life, limb, health. Some died to do that. Politicians who, like President Trump, are in danger of being injured somehow when they're out in the world doing what they're doing. Like Gabby Giffords, who is still suffering the effects of being shot in the head when she was doing a rally somewhere. Politicians who believe in something. Now, I'm not saying that every politician always lives up to the highest possible standards. We've all lived long enough to know that's not really accurate. But standing in that place, taking that much of a risk to be a visible participant, a leader, that's something. That is something. There are lots and lots of movies about people who stood for telling the truth and the risks that they took and sometimes the dangers that resulted from them having done that, and people who loved where love was forbidden. And there are all sorts of ways in which love between people has been forgiven in certain cultures and certain times where it's been allowed or celebrated or punished. And it's not just about gender or sexual orientation or identity. Sometimes it's about class. Sometimes it's about race. Sometimes it's about age differences. Sometimes it's about educational levels or ethnicities. And you know all these movies. I don't think I printed some of them. We have Romeo and Juliet. We have Shogun. That's about both ethnicity, race, and also class. We have Twilight, which is a human being and a vampire. We have Anna Karenina, which is an extramarital relationship. We have The Thornbirds, which is a love affair between a priest and a layperson. We have Boys Don't Cry, which is about a transgender girl who is a transgender man, actually, who falls in love with a girl, and so on and so on. They're everywhere. The Breakfast Club, that's about class and social structure and cliques. So all of these things are about people taking risks, no matter what age they are, no matter how great the risk, because something mattered that much to them. So freedom of heart is about being allowed to take that kind of a stand and having even people who don't agree be available to at least listen, not necessarily to change their minds, but to stand with that individual in their right to feel that or want that or stand for that or speak about that. You with me here? Yeah? So Rumi said, God has given you a spirit with wings on which to soar into the spacious firmament of love and freedom. When we, as Karen was singing, when we extend kindness to each other, we're doing something unnecessary that we choose to do out of caring for other human beings. And a neighbor of ours in Freestone, when we lived there, used to say, no good deed goes unpunished. Meaning, basically, if you try to be kind to someone, for sure that's going to blow back negativity on you. Now, I don't think that's true, but I believe she did experience some of that. Maybe because she had decided that was how it was, I don't know. But we do find that just choosing to be kind to someone is not necessarily something that opens up an experience of immediate good in response, because we never know how the other person will receive that kindness. And yet, what is life worth if we're not practicing kindness to one another? If we're not willing to make space for unpopular things to be said and to be responded to by those who feel the same or differently. David Dida, whoever he is, said, if your purpose is to liberate yourself and others into love and freedom, then you should do whatever magnifies the love and freedom in your life and in the lives of those whom your actions affect. I read a story the other day of a woman whose father had passed away, and he had become so immersed in conspiracy ideas that he had essentially separated himself from everybody in the family. And they had all been very close at one time, and so there was a real sense of loss on everybody's part. And as he was dying, he asked their forgiveness for having stood in such a way that it pushed them away from him. I think when we really care deeply about something, if we want to be present for spirit of freedom of heart and claim that for ourselves and other people, what that means is that as firmly as we may feel about something, as firmly as we may wish to show up for it and talk about it, as somebody wise once said, I think this was Ram Dass, never put anybody out of your heart, no matter what, no exceptions. Wow, that can be really hard, can't it? If you're angry, if you're afraid, if you're very sad, it can be really hard sometimes not to put somebody out of your heart, especially when you disagree with them ferociously. The idea is that somehow this freedom of heart means that we have the energy and the love within us to stand in fierceness when we need to, and to still be available to listen to where someone else is coming from who is also standing in fierceness with an opposite idea. That's just really tough. It's, part of me, even as I say it, is going, shut up, because it's just not easy to do that. This is kind of the thing that we live for in religious science, not to go through these difficulties, but to recognize that if we want a world that works for everyone, it means everybody has a voice. And everybody's allowed to have a voice. What we don't want to do is damage one another through our voices or through our actions. We want to take responsibility and be accountable for what we are choosing. So taking a hold of this freedom to choose recognizes that, yes, we value this freedom, and we also recognize that with that freedom comes responsibility, comes some duties, comes some accountability for where we stand. I can remember ranting and raving when I was a young married person. At that time, my husband's father was retired Air Force colonel, and I was ranting and raving about something that had to do with something political. And having been in the military for many years, he had a different perspective and also had, maybe more information about some things than I did, I hope anyway. And he challenged what I was saying, and I realized I had nothing to say to back up all this ranting and raving I was doing. I felt it strongly. I had a strong opinion. Maybe that was worth something, but I didn't have information to respond with, to meet the challenge. and I felt like an idiot. And so in listening to somebody else or meeting their challenge, let's do that with respect for the other person. And I'm not saying he wasn't respectful, but with respect for the other person and acknowledgement that we might not know everything. It's possible. We might not know everything. They probably don't either, but that's not the point. We have two very strongly held opinions, some of which we can back up, we'll assume, that are colliding, and between two people, neither of whom know everything. So maybe we could soften just a little. Do you think? Maybe we could soften just a little in the recognition that we really don't have all the information. Now, that doesn't mean we don't express our feelings and our opinions, but it means that we hold them a little more lightly and not quite as tightly, assuming that we know everything. Freedom to choose. We have, in this country, mostly, freedom to choose what matters to us. Freedom to choose who matters to us. And freedom to choose how we express those. Not everyone may agree with those choices, or we may not agree with all of somebody else's choices, but we have freedom to choose. And what I think our vision is, and granted, I don't have all the information, but what I think our vision is as a country growing out of this idea is we want to allow the world to have those choices. It's complicated because, once again, we're human beings. So it's not going to be done perfectly. There are going to be power struggles. There are going to be disagreements. Can we find another way to work through those disagreements without thinking that we need to kill each other to make our point, to get our opinion to be the top one? Maybe that's not the most effective way of doing it. Human beings have been around for a long time. I think that if you look at us in any culture in the world, in any religious group in the world, maybe not in Science of Mind, although we certainly within ourselves have some unpleasant disagreements sometimes. I'm speaking of the ministers right now. I'm not speaking of the lay people, although that can happen too. But because we don't see everything exactly the same way, even though we stand in this idea of a world that works for everyone. However, that's what pops up for anybody. So attempting to do that while being aware of our howevers makes for kind of a messy process. It's sort of like birth. I've often said this. If you've ever given birth or been present at a birth, one thing you can say about it is that it's messy. It's just messy. It just is. It's noisy. It's messy. It can be scary. It can be tragic. It can be dangerous. And yet, in the majority of cases, the result can be celebrated. And that's kind of what this messy thing about a world that works for everyone and freedom of heart looks like. It isn't going to be tidy. It's going to be messy. Well, what's wrong with messy, really? Have you ever looked at a field of wildflowers? When they're on their own, when they're growing on their own, they're not in nice, tidy beds. They aren't free of weeds. They don't look like they've ever been organized into anything. They're just randomly scattered all over the place, across the street from us, coming up from a crack in the street itself, over in the next to the parking section. Right where we live, there is a volunteer zucchini plant. What the heck? How did that happen? A volunteer zucchini growing up out of the street. I was sort of astounded by that. Wildflowers, I expect them to do little things like that, but a zucchini plant? Really? Give me a break. So when we're coming into this place of freedom to choose, we see that plants do it all the time. They're not just going where they're wanted. They're not just going where they think they will do their best. They're going where they land. They're making the best of it. They're doing what they do, and they're claiming life no matter what the circumstances, no matter what the conditions. And they don't seem to be feeling sorry for themselves because the conditions are difficult. They don't seem to be angry because things aren't going exactly in the most beneficial way for them. Somehow or other, they go on. Have you ever seen a three-legged dog? They don't seem to be complaining. They don't seem to be angry about their lack of that fourth leg. What is it about human beings that then allows us to get so wrapped up in how we think it should be or how it used to be that we can't be present for what's available right now in our lives? Well, of course we can, but it's a choice. It's a choice. So we look at our lives now and we might say, well, this is creaky when I get up in the morning, or that hurts more than it used to, or I can't run as fast as I did, or I can't run. Okay, so what else can you do? What can you do now? Tell me what you can do, not what you can't do. And let's find another way. Let's find another way forward. So we in religious science stand for, as messy and difficult and imperfect as we are in doing it, we stand for the freedom of all people to live fully, whatever that looks like for them. And as Ernest Holmes would say, and I'm paraphrasing now, do whatever you will. Do what gives you joy. Do what gives you happiness. There's nothing holding you back in the universe. The only caveat is, as long as it does not hurt another, doesn't impinge on their freedom, doesn't impose something to keep them down. That gives us quite a lot of room, and yet it's still a challenge. Holmes said in the original textbook from 1926, individuality means self-choice, volition, conscious mind, personified spirit, complete freedom, and a power to back up that freedom. Freedom of will means the ability to do, say, and think as one wishes, to express life as one personally desires. And then he also says, our inherent nature is forever seeking to express itself in terms of freedom. We will do well to listen to this inner voice, for it tells us of a life wonderful in its scope, of a love beyond our fondest dreams, of a freedom which the soul craves. I don't think there's any group of people on earth who do not crave that kind of freedom. And often in that desire, they learn to adapt to the circumstances where they are and to take the freedom that they have and do what they can with that. I want to share a story with you. Well, actually, let's see, where is that? I have in the book of Isaiah, of all things, it says, "The Spirit of the Sovereign Lord is upon me, because the Lord has anointed me to proclaim good news to the poor. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim freedom for the captives and release from darkness for the prisoners." Each one of us is a captive or a prisoner or poor or brokenhearted at some time in our lives. Maybe not literally in the way that others might be, but we all experience those. And when we can be there for one other person who is experiencing something like that and help lift them up, we are anointed. We are called by the Spirit to that moment. You may, during this week, and certainly leading up to the election, find people who are feeling poor or brokenhearted or enslaved or imprisoned by something. And perhaps in encountering them, you are the one called at that moment to respond with love. And it may just be to witness and to listen. But if we happen to be the one there, probably we're the one that's called. So this little story is about a woman. It's really about her son, but she, I think, is called in the last moments of her life to help set her son free in a particular way. As Jack entered his boyhood home, his sister Susie was in the kitchen making a sandwich. "Jack, you made it," she exclaimed, standing to give him a hug. "I was worried about you driving so far." "I want to see Mom. How is she?" "She's gone down fast since yesterday, but she's not quite as bad as when I phoned you earlier." Jack made his way down the hall to his mother's bedroom. "Mom," he called gently, pushing the door open. "Mom, it's me, Jack." Slowly she opened her eyes and her smile blossomed. "Ah, Jackie, you're here. I knew you'd come." She patted his hand and patted his cheek lightly. "How are things going with you?" I'm okay. Don't worry about me. I came to see how you're doing." You know how I'm doing, Jackie. I'm dying. But I want to know how you're doing. How's that restaurant idea working out?" Jack let out a long sigh. "Nancy says I can do it if I want to, but she doesn't seem enthusiastic about me leaving real estate. She thinks I should be satisfied with what I'm doing. But it's not enough. I'm just not happy there anymore. The money's fine, but the work doesn't satisfy me. You know what I mean?" "I do," she whispered, nodding her head in agreement. "When I first got into real estate, I really loved it. Over the years, my life just came and became a routine. I got good in the business. I sold more and more houses, but after a while, the sales just didn't have the same effect on me. Giovanni, the owner of I Fratelli, still wants me to consider being his apprentice." "What are you going to do about it?" she asked. "I'd really like to learn to be a chef," he said. "You know I've always enjoyed cooking, and I could afford to invest in the restaurant, but mostly it feels like it's just a silly, selfish dream." His mother reached out and took his hand. "Jackie, there's nothing selfish about wanting to be happy. What if I'm not chef material? What if I don't have what it takes?" "Well, you'll never know, Jackie, unless you try. If you don't take a few risks now and then, you'll live a life of regret." "I know, you're right, Mom. Giovanni did say he'd teach me everything he knows, and he's been in the business 40 years. If things went well, it could turn out to be really good for Nancy and me. When Giovanni retires, he'd let me buy him out. I just don't know what to do. It's really a gamble. What should I do, Mama?" And then Jack noticed how quiet the room had become. And he smiled, looking at how peacefully his mother was sleeping. He laid his hand gently on hers and held it. Then he looked at her more closely, holding her hand a little tighter. "Mom," he said. "Mom." Rising from the bed, Jack leaned over his mother and kissed her gently on the forehead. A tear rolled down his cheek. He laid his mother's hand tenderly on her lap and made his way out of the room, calling his brother and sister as he went. Later that morning, after the nurses and the coroner and the men from the funeral home had all come and gone, Jack sat alone on the front porch. The sky was just turning pink in the east as the stars disappeared one by one. And Jack sat reflecting on that last conversation. Finally, looking eastward, he said to the morning sky, "I heard what you said, Mama. I've made my decision. I'm not going to live a life of regret. I'm going to go for it." How many times does an opportunity give itself to us and we hesitate because of the risks that are involved. Maybe when those opportunities give themselves to us, because there's no time limit, there's no age limit on those opportunities being offered to us. As we weigh the various things and decide on those opportunities, let's remember we don't want to live a life of regret. So take that into consideration too when you're weighing the options. Namaste. Thank you. So let's now turn within and anchor this in prayer. As we turn within, we recognize that there is one presence and one power. And within this presence and power, there is boundless wisdom. This one created everything from itself, so its wisdom is everywhere, fully present in everything and everyone. We, therefore, I know, are infused with this wisdom. I am, every one of us is. As we calm our fears and worries and listen with an open heart, we do invite in the awareness of that wisdom and its clarity, its guidance for us, for our choice, for our path, for our own freedom of heart. And we welcome this wisdom. We release the past. We receive the new. We allow ourselves to be led into the greater truth, the greater wholeness that offers itself freely to us now. Whatever this week brings to us, I know and declare and claim for each one of us at this moment, for everyone watching and listening online, anywhere, at any time, for all of us in this room, for all of our Centers for Spiritual Living people everywhere in the world, and for all, that this wisdom is activated in us, that it is speaking in words and language irresistibly in ways that we can receive and understand. It is speaking clearly in such a way that the very power of its vibration dissolves our false beliefs, prejudices, biases, attachments, and sets us free. We step into this greater light, lighter ourselves, with gratitude. We claim this greater light and freedom right now. We open to this wisdom with gratitude and grace. We release this prayer into that creative law of mind and spirit that always says yes. We release it into the heart of God, where it never was anything but the truth of who we are. We let this prayer go and we let it be so. And together we say, and so it is. Please stand and join me for the morning affirmation. Together. Love is a gift. When it arrives in our lives, in our work, our creative expression, our families, friends, or romantically, it is a blessing. Today, I'm grateful for all the love I've ever experienced in my life. I reflect it out into the world, offering kindness everywhere I go. And so it is. You may be seated. Thank you. Ushers, would you please come forward now as we prepare to receive the offering? And for those of you who are online with us this morning, if you want to give an offering or a donation, contribution, tithe, the number to do so is on the screen. Just text the dollar amount of what you want to give and follow the directions. And as for all of us here present, we're going to go ahead and bless the offerings we're receiving this morning. Bless where they come from in our lives. Bless all the offerings that Golden Gate has received in every form in every way over this past week and send that blessing out into the world. So I invite you to hold your gift over your heart. Know that if you're here with us for the first time this morning, your presence here with us is your gift. And for all of us, let's hold our hand over our heart, knowing that we are indeed a gift. As we say this offering blessing together, this gift I give is God in action. I now send it forth to bless and to prosper. I know that everywhere it goes, it is creating a world living in love, one heart and one thought at a time. And so it is.
So allow this song to open your heart a little bit more. So the words are, I open my heart to healing in this moment. I open my heart to love. I open my heart to healing in this moment. When I open my heart, I am healed. Just goes like this. I open my heart to healing in this moment. I open my heart to love. I open my heart to healing in this moment. When I open my heart, I am healed. Can you sing that with me? I open my heart to healing in this moment. I open my heart to love. I open my heart to healing in this moment. When I open my heart, I am healed. I open my heart to healing in this moment. I open my heart to love. I open my heart to love. I open my heart. I open my heart to healing this moment. To healing in this moment. When I open my heart, I am healed. So let these words just wash over you now. I open my heart to all the possibilities. I open my heart and I know when I surrender and trust, breathe in gratitude, I am healed. So take a deep breath, sing with me again. I open my heart to healing in this moment. I open my heart to love. I open my heart to healing in this moment. When I open my heart, I am healed. I am healed. I open my heart to healing in this moment. I open my heart to love. To love. I open my heart to healing in this moment. When I open my heart, I am healed. That last line. I open my heart, I am healed. When I open my heart, I am healed. I am healed. I am healed.
So on behalf of Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living, we do, all of us here, accept and bless this offering and send it out into the world for freedom of heart everywhere it goes. And so it is. And you can see here, Karen is August 6th, 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. at Cafe Arrivederci. And she invites us to come, and there's more info at karendrucker.com, but she said reservations are recommended. If you are with us for the first time this morning, back at this table behind you here, there are all kinds of flyers and handouts and brochures and things. Feel free to pick up anything there that you like. And also there are welcome packets. So take a welcome packet, take out the blue card, fill it out and turn it in, and Amanda's going to give you a little book called Nourishing Thoughts to take with you, which is our thank you for being here and our invitation to you to come back and be with us often in the future. Also, I want to take a moment to thank everybody who helped set up this morning, because they did a magnificent job. So let's give a hand to all of the folks that made this morning possible. Thank you all for your sacred service. We really appreciate it. And also, if you are interested in sacred travel, remember to sign up for this is an interest sheet, not a commitment, to let us know you're interested, and also mark off any or all of those destinations that you're interested in going to with us as a group, Bali, Bhutan, or New England. Most of this, the Bali and New England would be in the fall of 25. The Bhutan will be in the spring of 25, probably April. I want to remind you to share far and wide the music director's job description. We're looking for a music director so we can have a live person leading us and doing wonderful things up here. So please go ahead and pass that on so that we can find that right person. We are getting some resumes now, by the way. That doesn't mean stop. Keep it up. All right. Also, Sunday teams for snacks, not to bring them, but to put them out. Ushering and handing out the bulletins, receiving the offering. We could use some more people so that Paula doesn't have to be on duty every week. And this week, fortunately, she didn't have to. But we could use some more folks on that. So you can sign up over here on the events table, where you'll also find the Sacred Travel info. There will be a Zoom meeting on Wednesday, the 24th of July, for anybody who's interested in finding out more about Possibilities Ukraine, which Reverend Dr. Barbara Leger is working with right now, and including in our partnership with Ukraine. So in order to support that, there's going to be a meeting for more information. You can talk to Deborah Irwin. I don't think Deborah's here this morning, but you can talk to Deborah Irwin if you have any questions about that, and just put it on your calendar. The link will be on, I don't think it's in the bulletin this morning, but it will be in the Tuesday email, so look for it there, or you can take a picture of it here so that you have it. That is the Zoom link for the meeting. It will be at noon on July 24th. That's a Wednesday. Also want to remind you that our town hall meeting is coming up on Sunday, July 28th, right here. We've got stuff to tell you, and we have stuff we'd like you to tell us. So please plan to be here for about an hour, maybe not quite that long, so we can pick each other's brains and get all the information expressed and experienced throughout the entire group here. Also, picnic the Sunday after that. We'll be right out here where we like to have it, right over there in picnic area A, following the service. Sign up for A, how you'll help, set up, take down, clean up, taking the food out, all those things. We need help with all of that, and what you'll bring to share. Right now, I think we're a little light on the meat. So you can take, Deborah Irwin is here, so if you have a question about Possibilities Ukraine, talk to Deborah, she's right back there. You can sign up for the picnic over here, let us know what you're gonna bring and how you'd like to help. That would be terrific. You know that Stan Stefancic's memorial is on August 9th, and right now what's happening is that the room has a capacity of 100, and they're now trying to deal with overflow of people asking to come. So We're not going to have it here. I thought when I put this together, we might actually be moving it over here, but that's not going to work well for the people right there at Villa Marin. So what we might do is have an overflow space and live stream it or something. I don't know yet, but I will talk with Mariana and we'll get that figured out so that we can send our dear Stan off with a wonderful celebration of life. I'm sorry? It's supposed to be the 10th. Yeah, August 10th. Sorry about that. August 10th, yes. Also, we have a food bank coming up in August. Talk to Ellen Nicosia, who's actually in the kitchen, I think, right now. If you're interested in being part of that team, it's 2 hours on a Tuesday from noon to 2. That's August 13th. And finally, of course, prayer. So remember, the prayer box is on the practitioner table, and the practitioners on duty are over there to pray with you this morning. I'm going to invite the ushers now to surround the room as we go ahead and bring our morning to a close. We're going to join together in heart to send us off into this week. Please know if you have any questions about practitioners, you can always look for the people in the white stoles who aren't on duty today. They'll be happy to answer any questions about our prayer practitioners. So, turning within now, we know and recognize that we are one in mind and heart and spirit, and one in wisdom. So we send ourselves out into this week with such great gratitude, knowing that we're infused with that, and that we are magnetically attracting greater and greater good to ourselves, filling us up and allowing us to bring forth that good whenever it's called for in abundance, with no fear of depleting it, knowing that the universe supports us, replenishes us, and fills us once again with that same wisdom, that same presence. We bless and welcome this now, and we bless each other with such appreciation and love. Letting this prayer go, we know it is done, and we celebrate it. And so it is. Please stand and join us for the closing blessing and song. This is, hello, yes? We did that already. I must have gone backwards instead of forwards. Sorry about that. There we go. Join me in the closing blessing as we say, I now walk so that whoever walks beside me dwells in the presence of God, and whoever places a hand in mine is lifted, and whoever thinks of me is illumined with God consciousness, for spirit and all people and I are one eternally, and so it is. You all know Stand, I think so. That's
I
Karen's
know you know this
closing.
one.
Karen and Reverend Carol wrote this.
Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. That's the whole thing. Here we go. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Sing it again. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. One more time. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. That last line. We are making a new world now. We are Thanks for listening.